This is Mike Steingriver with your market update for October 10th, 2025. Hope harvest is going well for everybody out there. Seems like we had some pretty good weather coming, getting some things off the field and working our way through the soybean harvest and quickly approaching the corn harvest already. Overall, for the week, as far as the markets go, we had a fairly decent start to the week. Had some days in the green for corn and beans and a little bit of wheat too. And then that all fell apart today, mostly due to preliminary China talks with Trump and falling apart. Sounds like that might not even happen now after they wanted to start essentially making us pay for vessels and have port fees and all this stuff. And he wants to jack up the tariffs on everything with China, and then a bunch of rare earth metals, and the ongoing mess continues here. So something to keep a close eye on. So that kind of made the market pull back quite a bit today. We'll start with beans since we're in that harvest. Market closed today at 10.06 3/4. That's a 15.5 cent drop from the close of yesterday. As far as corn goes, we closed at 4.13. That's down 5.25 cents. And wheat, cash wheat, is at 4.98.5. Anybody looking at new crop wheat futures prices, we are at 5.39.5 futures for next July. So we'll kind of dig into it a little bit here. As far as corn goes right now, that's basically just following soybeans quite a bit. And as I said in the beginning of this, beans drop just because of the meeting with China's in jeopardy. And that's obviously not going to be good for the soybean market, and corn will be affected by that as well as wheat. So hopefully it still happens here. I mean, we kind of hit a nice little jump earlier this week, and I feel like there's a fair amount of optimism on the markets coming back up, and it seems like that's kind of the wind's been taken out of those sails. So we'll keep an eye on that. Got some yield reports here for soybeans. Some places in Illinois, it looks like they're kind of averaging in the upper 60s, probably pretty close to, I would say, their average. Obviously, you get reports from certain people, certain places, it's going to vary quite a bit. So I would say mid to upper 60s, maybe even pretty close to 70 bushel the acre. It sounds like some places in Illinois. Indiana kind of looks like they had a pretty good harvest this year on beans. We'll call that average, a ballpark of probably in the 70s almost. Again, Iowa probably 70 bushels, I'd say there. Yeah, and anybody around here, I think we've had some fairly decent soybean yields, so that won't help with our soybean price, I think, long term, probably near term either. So yeah, I mean, put some offers out on beans for something that's realistic here. Just if we do happen to get a bump over the weekend, if some news comes out this weekend, you can maybe see things come back. As far as corn goes, some of the yields have been pretty good for what's been taken off down south. Looks like there some drier spots, obviously. There's some really good spots. Probably, I can't really give you a really good average on corn because there's so much of it. But it seems like it should be a pretty decent year. And again, most people around this area, I think, would say the same. They're looking at having a pretty good yield this year. So things to keep an eye on out there. Weather's been good, so that's all I got for you. Hope everybody has a good and safe harvest.